So again, the certification exam, all right? So this is something that you guys are going to be having to schedule on your own. Of course, due to the pandemic, we may close for December, but you guys are still taking the class. So the rule is you cannot schedule your exam just yet. You have to wait until after you've done your practice exam. So that's our only extra barrier you have to take. You have to do before you can even apply for your voucher. So after this course is done, about approximately maybe a week later, me or Casey will be sending you guys a link. We'll be sending you guys a link to a practice exam. So we use Gmetrics, which is going to be Certiport, which is the actual company that you are actually taking the QuickBooks certification exam through. Okay, and what they're gonna do is we purchase these practice exams for you guys to take. So you guys are going to be prepared for what the exam is going to look like. So it's going to teach you how to navigate. So I believe the navigation portion is going to be click and drag. Okay, and it's also going to give you practice test questions, multiple choice. Now, how the exam is designed. Okay, so after you've done your practice exam, in order to get your voucher, we require you to show us that you've done the exam, the practice exam, and pass at least twice with a 90%. Now, they give you a total of 30, if not, I believe it's 30 practice exams. Now, I don't want you guys to stop at 2 because you might have gotten lucky that time. We want to make sure that you at least get to 90% for us to verify or to have you guys sign off or have us sign you guys off that you're ready to take your certification exam. Now, of course, I encourage you guys to, don't stop at 2. Keep going until you maybe got like 5 or 6 in a row. Because then again, you guys could be lucky one time, and then the other time is not so good. Okay. So how Geometrics works is I will be giving you guys a download link, and you're going to download the application, and you're going to get your score results in your email or however you set it up. All right. So again, me or Casey or even Eleanor. So if you've met Eleanor, she's the lady that takes care of the testing center. One of us can set you guys up with a Geometrics account. Now, I would highly recommend you to wait for me to give you the link before going to the school and asking Eleanor. Okay? Reason being is we want to make sure that I order you guys the test and then I distribute it. So it's only one person that's taking really care of you guys instead of, pulling other people to be involved, okay? Because we want to make sure that every student gets a specific link, all right, or a specific account. So I don't want any duplicates, okay? So that's what I said. After the class is done, I will get on it and ask Casey to purchase a couple of practice exams. So I will be asking on the last week of class who is going to be testing out for the QuickBooks certification. Now, obviously, the ones that have not taken an accounting, you guys can prolong it for another 4 months because you guys are going to be going into the accounting program, which, and then the ones who've already completed their program, so for example, like Lynette and Adina, you guys, after December happens, you guys are completely done. So you guys are actually obligated to receive the practice exam because you guys are completely done. So the end of the program is giving you the practice exam, and you guys are going to schedule on your own when to take it. Now, it also depends on your counselor as well, because your counselor may tell you that you need to do this, you may to take the exam either a month after you've taken the QuickBooks class. All right. Best recommendation is that you do take it as soon as possible because now you're memorizing all these things. Yes, Nilo?
I got because yesterday I got a message from Chona,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna take the accounting on January, probably in the morning, and
Yes,
then they
you are.
added me one more. They added me one more subject like advanced Excel. I
Okay.
just only know yesterday. So do I need to finish first the Excel before I take certification exam?
Absolutely not. You do not need Excel for QuickBooks.
No, I mean I need to finish all the program first before I take the certification exam.
Absolutely not. You can take the certification exam whenever you choose to, but for you, I would definitely wait. Especially, I think I would have you take it twice.
One more problem is this month because probably they might call us back to work on that day. Uh, do they you guys can get certification exam on the weekend?
We do. We do Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, we're the testing center is open from Tuesday to Sunday. I mean, wait, Tuesday to Saturday. Sitel is Sunday. So you just have to schedule it with the testing center.
So after I finish probably the accounting course, how long do I need to wait to take the certification exam?
Whenever
The
whenever I give you the link to practice is whenever your time is, and you have to talk to your counselor because they may push forward and say you need to take it now. But with counselors, especially one stop, they allow you to finish the whole entire program first and then take your certification afterwards.
Then one more question: is
Yes,
this mandatory to take the certification exam?
it's part of your program. Now, um, you may be able to get around it, but it does come part of your package as part of your training. So if you choose not to take this certification exam, that's completely fine. But that just decreases your chances to get a job, a higher paying job.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the whole purpose of our training is for you to get QuickBooks certified. Now, with QuickBooks certification, depending on what a company you apply for, if they see that you are capable of mastering or getting the certification for QuickBooks, that makes you a trainable employee. Meaning, if you can learn QuickBooks, you can learn Peachtree, you can learn SAP, you can learn whatever accounting software that they may use, because not all companies use QuickBooks. Majority, especially small companies, but if you're applying for a major corporation, they use a lot of other different type of accounting softwares, and your certification proves that you are trainable. Okay, and on top of that, if they do QuickBooks, you have to learn how they do QuickBooks. Okay, so everything, no matter what it is, you're going to get trained in it. Okay,
Okay,
all
thank you.
right. So again, the practice certification exam, I did post a couple practice tests on there. It's just multiple choice for you guys in the Google Classroom if you guys would like to go over it. I just know that for the last remaining week of class, so in 2 weeks from now, um, I want you to do the test number 3 with me, and we're gonna go over the answers and everything together. So, yes. All right. So, okay. So, with that being said, the certification exam is approximately 50 questions. Okay. Um, some of them could be 47. Some of them could be 48. It just really depends on the day that you take your exam. Okay. But just aim or at least guesstimate 50 questions. And here I have like a little approximate of how each exam sections that the QuickBooks exam actually focuses on. Okay, so the exam is actually 1/3 of it is going to be navigating. So actually using your mouse, point, click, and drag to whatever the question is asking. So it could be, how do you enter an invoice? You're going to take your mouse and you're going to either click on the home page, create an invoice. You could either go to the customer menu bar and click enter invoice. You may have to go to the customer center and right click and enter an invoice. Okay, so that's the navigation portion. And when you take the geometrics practice exam, you'll understand and you'll understand what to do. Okay. Now, what I can do for you is only to prepare you for the certification exam and test you to it, but I cannot. After you've the class is over and you guys are giving your practice exams, you guys are on your own. Okay. Now, for those who are kind of wanting to refamiliarize again with your with the QuickBooks, I do have a brand new class starting on January 4th, so right after the Christmas break, January 4th from 1 to 5 p.m. Okay? You guys are more than welcome to come in to the my afternoon QuickBooks class if you'd like to get another refresher, because this material, if you are a beginner at this, it's a lot of material. If you've already experienced and used QuickBooks before, you guys are pretty much the experts. Okay, so this is just a refresher for you guys. Okay,
Do we have to sign up informally for that particular class?
I will talk to you guys on the last day of class. Okay, so whoever's gonna follow me to the next program, I will, yes, I will get you into the class and set you up probably the week before, because right now I'm kind of debating how the class is going, but definitely it will be the last week of school. I will get you guys into the QuickBooks afternoon if you choose to retake it again. Yes. Was another
So
question?
you just only sit there and you don't take the test, or like just watching.
Yes. 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 So once you've taken that test, that's it. My test at least. You guys done it once and done it twice. You're basically gonna come in to the class sitting and auditing my class for the next time. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into these questions. So again, your package also includes you to have 2 vouchers. So whatever agency that you came from, they've already included in the package that you guys are going to have 2 attempts at the actual certification exam. So that's just in case you don't pass it the first time. Now, I would encourage you to read the book very thoroughly and also practice the practice problems in the book quite often, because these certification exams are actually pretty pricey, even though it's already been paid for and whatever, it's part of your package. However, you know The chances of you passing the first time, it's about a 60% ratio, okay? Especially for those who are not familiar with QuickBooks, it's a lot harder. So that's why I recommend you guys to either retake the class with me or just keep practicing on your own. Now, that doesn't mean that, you cannot test for the second time. However, if you do take it and you do fail, you have to take it within the next 30 days. So they give you 30 days to retake the exam. Okay? And if you are unsuccessful for your second attempt, unfortunately, you may have to pay for your third attempt if that is what you want to pursue. Okay? Now, as far as is it mandatory to take the exam, it's not my decision to tell you that. You guys came here for training for one reason, to better your guys' skills and to help you get into the workforce again. Okay. Anyways, yes. You had a question? No.
No.
Okay. All right. So let's go. I'll go ahead and go over the certification exam. All right. So here we are. So the first section here is QuickBooks setup. It's about 6% of your exam, which is approximately 3 questions. However, I would like for you to know every single one. So the first question here is, what information is required before they set up the QuickBooks file? What do you think needs to be there?
The account?
Yes. What kind of account? I mean,
No, their account?
who's their account?
I said customer or vendor account?
Customer or vendor account? No, that's not obligated to have. You can always build your profile, your clientele list, your vendor list. You can always build that afterwards. But this is talking about setting up. So in this case, this is actually a chart in your book. Okay. So this is chapter 12, setting up your company file. That 12-step table. Okay. All right. So a couple information that you may need to have is you need to have a starting date. Okay. That should be definitely number 1. Are you going to choose to start on your fiscal year, the beginning of your fiscal year, or when you start your actual QuickBooks? So that's definitely something that you are required to have. Other things that you need to have as well is obviously your company name. You're not required to have your tax ID number. However, a company name is first and foremost, right? You don't need an address unless you've established one. Okay, so this question is more for the little chart on page let me look at the page actually. It's that little chart that you see on in chapter 12 when you set up your company file. You have that 12 steps page before setting up your company file and what you need to have. So in this case, it's going to be this page right here. So page 346. So again, we need to have a start date. That is definitely important to have before creating or setting up a company file. You need to have that one particular information. And yes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write this page number. So page 346 is definitely something you need to have as a requirement before setting up your company file. So So page 346. Chapter 12. Okay. All right. Okay, so question number 2 is how do you start a new company data file in QuickBooks? How do you start or create a new company file in QuickBooks? Okay, so the question in parentheses says when you use the either Express Startup or the Detail Startup. Okay, so how do you set that up?
By answering the interview portion.
Yes, that's one of them, but which one actually has that?
Detail start.
Detailed start, yes, also known as the easy step interview. Detailed start. Okay, so what's the difference between the two?
Can you
I
repeat?
think that
What is the
I think
difference between the two?
Oh, express
the
start. It is from advanced. I mean,
Okay, what do you mean by it is for advanced?
um, I can explain.
I think I think the express
You need
start
more,
are the one
you
with
need more information for the company.
no, the express start. I think is gonna be the one that is expert in or more familiarized with QuickBooks,
Good. Yes.
and the detail start are the beginners like we just only knew.
Yes. Good. So Express Start, okay, is usually for more advanced or people who are more familiarized with QuickBooks. That's correct. Now, as an Express startup, how do you set up your account if you're going to be doing this? You're going to be doing it from scratch, correct? As in, nothing is set up for you. You have to manually do it yourself using the what? Using company preferences, right? For QuickBooks and yes. So here you're only creating the company profile, and all you need is just a company name and the address and et cetera, et cetera. And from there, you have to set up your chart of accounts. You have to set up your inventory. You have to manually set up and enter in all the details for your company. So manually set up all details in. Okay. So where the details start, also known as the easy step interview, right? Make sure you know the difference or different names. Easy start interview. Okay. So or sorry, the easy step. Easy step interview. Okay. This is for beginner. Beginner users to QuickBooks. And how they do this is they help you walk you through and help you build your company profile. So help build your company file through a series of questions. Okay, so they help you build a generic chart of accounts. They help you build, you know, your like they ask you, do you sell a product or service? So they help you build items. They help you answer questions such as like, do you sell sales tax? Do you have employees? So they build centers and they build, you know, the company file that has the transactions that you would necessarily need for certain criterias. So, example, if I have employees, then my employee center will be created. If I sell a good or service, right, then my sales process or my invoice receive payment section, that whole section will begin to be created. If I purchase inventory, then I have my inventory items at the very top of my homepage. As every answer question that or for every question that I answer in the Easy Step interview, it helps build the company file. Okay. All right. Now, how do you actually physically set up a company file? So I have a company file right here. How do I actually set one up?
You go in file and new company.
Yes, file new company is perfect. Uh, when you open QuickBooks, right, you're going to get that window that says you want to create a new company or opening an existing portable file. So yes, that's how you get to that section is file new company. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. File right. All right. So the next question is, how do you keep the lists and preferences from old files while removing old transactions? Okay, so this one is actually going to be in chapter 13. So I'm going to actually highlight this because we will come to it. This is part of chapter 13. I haven't even got there yet. That's the last thing that we're going to learn is how to remove all of your old transactions, but keep your lists and everything that you've already created in your company file. Okay, so I'm going to make a note here that this is chapter. Okay. Next section here says how to customize the homepage. All right. How do you customize the homepage?
Just go to edit
Edit.
and then preference,
Edit where?
um, menu bar,
Menu bar. Good. Edit.
and then going to preference,
Go to where?
uh, preference,
Preference. Good. Okay. Good. What's the second way that you can actually customize your homepage?
just select or deselect the screen or
What do you mean select or deselect a screen?
you if you want some of them get appear on the screen, you can uh, remove the check on it.
Where in the company preferences?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, in the company preferences, yes, if you click or check or remove, it will remove and customize your homepage. But you have to be in your preferences. You can't just right click or anything on the homepage and it will disappear. You have to unfortunately do that through the actual edit preferences. You can't just go click this, and try to remove it or right click it. It's not going to work. Okay, so for example, this little thing up here, is my inventory little process right here. If I go to edit preferences and I go to inventory or items and let me see, where is it? Items and inventory. I go to company preferences and I deselect this option where I do sell inventory. I click OK. I click OK. Now my home page has closed down. Now if I were to open up my home page, now my whole top part or my inventory section has been removed. So that is the only way you can customize. That's one of the ways that you can customize your home page. Okay, so I'm gonna undo that real quick. Because actually we won't talk about inventory because that's chapter 8, but just want to make sure that I have it. Okay, so that's one way how to customize your home page. What is the second way?
You're going to menu bar and favorites.
All right, that is to only edit your menu bar.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Now I talked about this. What is the detail step or the detail start do? What does the detailed start do?
You just answer some interview
Yes,
questions.
but every question that you answer is actually also building your home page as well. So that is going to be one of them is through the easy, so detailed start, or also known as the easy step interview. Okay, that is the other way that you can modify your home page, right? So when you build it, that's what one way you could customize it. But after that, once you've completed your interview and you need to continue to you know, change your preferences or change the layout of your home page, then the edit menu on the menu bar preferences is the main way you customize your homepage. Okay. So the next question is, how do you set up lists so your customers, vendors, items, and etc. This includes understanding which names and items should appear on which list. So again, how do you enter in your list? And we talked about this in actually, I think this is a chapter 7. How do you set up your lists? Okay.
we use list menu bar.
Yes, that's one way to be able to do it is by going to lists on your menu bar and checking out what kind of things that you can create or change. So as you can see here, we have the chart of accounts, which is the first one. All right, and your items list next, and then et cetera, et cetera. And then you have all the way down to your templates and things like that. Okay, so yes, good. So let me go ahead and type that in there. So lists on menu bar. Okay. So your chart of accounts. How do you create or set up your chart of accounts? What is your chart of accounts?
By separating them, who the vendors are, customers, employees, or using those five, liabilities, income, expenses.
Okay, so you got the second one is actually correct. The first one is not. So this one is setting up your chart of accounts, obviously. Your chart of accounts is based off of the 5 account types, which is your assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and expenses. So how to set it up, it depends on your company, right? Depends on what you do. Are you a service or a product seller? Do you only, in this case, we try to focus on you as a merchandising company versus a manufacturing company. Okay, so it just depends on what your company is and how to set it up. It's pretty straightforward. You can go to account down here and add any new account, but it has to be based off of your 5 main accounts, which is your assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and expenses. So yes, so any account. All right. So that's what the chart of accounts is. Okay. What about your items list? What is your items list?
We open the list, item list, and going just open new item.
Okay. Now, what is your items list?
What?
What is your items list? What does your list of items entail?
About the product sales.
Yes. Good. About your products or your sales. Yes. If you sell an item that is, or a product, that is what you're going to be using the item list for. If you are just a primarily a service, this is also where you're going to place your services. So this is dealing with anything that has to do with sales, and that's what your items are, because we also include what taxes you charge. So again, if I go to the item and we go to new, okay, you need to know all these as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that you can place in here. Now, if you guys are using Premiere, you guys actually have a 10th item, and we'll talk about that in chapter 8, which is going to be the following Monday. We're going to talk about how inventory is made. If you are using Premiere, you will see that you have the last option or another option called inventory assembly. Okay, that's where you can create items from scratch, or for example, a bakery store, right? Instead of combining your eggs, your flours, and your sugar together, you can create a group, okay, that entails the eggs, the sugar, and the flour, and create an inventory assembly item, which allows you to set a price on a total cost of goods sold. Okay. Okay, and again, we'll talk more about that in chapter 8. But make sure that you understand all of these items here. So there's 9 in total here, 10 for Premiere. Okay, and understand, okay, for obviously service is pretty straightforward. An inventory item, a non-inventory item, and this whole entire little description, it can be found on chapter 7. And we talked about this on chapter 7 on how to set up your items. Okay. So chapter 7 is basically a list of products / service you sell. Okay. And then of course your customer list, your vendors list, and your employees. Those are pretty straightforward. You just, for whatever client that you have or a person that you work with, is typically what's going to be created in or setting up in here, okay? So again, all of these three have centers, okay? And those centers are going to be what transactions that you can deal with these particular people. So centers, okay? So good. And it's pretty straightforward when setting it up. It's you go into each center and you either do new or right click new. Okay. So that is pretty much a good chunk of this portion right here. Right. Okay, so next section we have here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. Next section that we have here is going to be QuickBooks Utilities. QuickBooks Utilities and general product knowledge. So again, this is revolving primarily around Chapter 1. Okay. So here's the first question. How do you navigate or move around in QuickBooks? What are the 3 ways you can enter information?
Menu bar,
Mm-hmm.
icon bar,
Mm-hmm.
Homepage.
Mm-hmm. So it says right here. Using the home page and the icon bar and the menu bar. Now the question is, when entering a transaction, how do you normally enter it in using QuickBooks?
Just register.
Register, good. You could enter it in through a register.
List.
List, good.
Item.
Item's going to be entailed with list. Because item is pretty much you could build it in a list. So there's one more.
Register and manual.
All right. It's pretty standard. It is the most common one we actually enter in our information. Right? When you go to a doctor's office, what do you need to fill out?
Application.
Application. What's another word for an application? Not information.
questionnaire,
Not a questionnaire. You guys are all hitting the right points, but it's not the correct word. We fill it out as a form.
Form.
Yes, right? Every time we enter in, so this is what a form looks like. Actually, let me go ahead and click cancel. So every time we enter in, for example, we enter in a bill, you're literally filling it out like a form. You enter in the person's name. You enter what items they purchase. You enter it in exactly like a form. You're filling it out. You're filling out each bubble. Okay, so that's the most common one that you're going to be utilizing. List, we've already seen before. If you choose, let's say for example, let's go to the customer center. Okay. If you choose to enter it in like a list, you can do so. For example, when you can add multiple people at once. And when you do that, you can enter it in like a list, just like this. You see, it's a list of all the people. You can enter it in just like that. Okay? And we talked about registers, right? Your registers are primarily going to be your assets, equity, and your liabilities. So if you were to click your checking account, you can actually enter information directly into the register. Okay, just like this. Okay, so this is a register. It gives you an account, your activity, your account balance, and it gives you your amount that you're, making changes to. Okay, so that is how you enter in information utilizing the homepage icon bar and menu bar. Okay, so all right, let's go back to this. All right, how do you backup or restore a data file? This was chapter 1. How do you backup and or restore a data file?
On the menu bar.
Sorry, say that again, Citizen?
Menu bar.
Menu bar. No. Okay, well, where on the menu bar?
It's under open and restore.
In the file.
File. Good. File. File on the menu bar. And then you have the options here. Open or restore. You can either back up your company file. So remember, you have the backup right here. Okay. And you can even create a portable file by sending the file. Okay. All right. So that is exactly how you do that. Okay, so let me go ahead and type that in there. So you can go to File, Backup Company, or File, all right. Now, can someone tell me the difference between between the 3 different types of files? There are 3 different types of files.
QBW,
Okay, what's QBW?
QuickBooks. Blah.
And
You know
then
what? Why am I going blank? QuickBooks. God bless America.
that's when you start to open, to input all the new information.
Okay, good. Good. Okay. So good. So we call that a working data file. A QBW is a working data file. Okay? Working data file. And that is the QBW. This is the one that you're going to be utilizing, entering all the details in. And this is the one that you're going to be, when you open and restore it, this is the file that it's going to convert and work for you, or the one that you're going to be primarily using. Now, what's the difference between a backup file and a portable file?
The portable file can be transferred.
Transferred where?
From one computer to other one.
Good. A portable file, good. It could be, yes. So it can be transferred to other computers. You can email it. You can place it on the internet. Link to download it. Okay, and basically what it is it's going to be the actual data working file, and it gets shrunken into an easy sendable file. Okay, now the day that you create a portable file is going to be the day that you last left off on your QuickBooks. So it doesn't update the portable file every single time you update your working file. you need to recreate a new portable file if you want to send it, if you constantly want to send an updated portable file. So make sure that you guys know that, okay? What's the difference between that one and a backup file?
A backup file hold information.
Mm-hmm. So yes, it just pretty much stores the information. Mm-hmm. For any emergency, such as your computer crashes and you're in the middle of working on a data file, and you've entered in all the transactions, you can restore a backup file because it pretty much stores information or data. Okay. On
Hmm.
okay. Okay. All right. So, how to determine the release number and how to update QuickBooks. How do you determine the QuickBooks release number?
If
Say that again, Nulo.
um, that is, I think is
Say that again.
forget.
You're very close.
Use register.
F2.
F2. Not use register, but it is F2. So on your keyboard at the very, very, very top, you should see F2. And if you press F2, here is your information on everything you need to know on your QuickBooks. So every time you open this, this gives you your release number. Okay, so remember, a release number is how many times QuickBooks has patched up itself. All right. So again, with every single program, every time it releases a new program, you will find things, certain people will find things that don't work in the application. So every time you update your QuickBooks, it will update to the latest release. So they're also known as patches. But F2 is going to give you all the details in regards to your QuickBooks. So again, if on my screen, it shows me my product ID number, okay? It shows me my product itself. And it also shows me when I actually upload or downloaded this program. So here it says I downloaded September of 2019. Okay. Other things too is it also gives you details on your current working file. So this one that I have was from yesterday. It's the practice problems for chapter 4, practice problem number 2. So with that information, I have a current working file. It tells me how many items I have on here. So I have a total of 68 accounts existing. I have a total of 46 names in here, right? 22 of them are customers, 22 of them are vendors, and 2 of them are employees. Okay, it tells me how many items I have in here. Okay, and total transactions so far. So it gives you pretty much detail on everything that you need to know on QuickBooks, especially the release number. Now, of course, if you look very, very carefully, I'm going to pull this down so you guys can see. I am at release number 1. I've never updated my QuickBooks ever. So I'm still on 2019 at release number 1. Okay? Now, of course, if you're a more heavily frequent user of QuickBooks, like you maximize the transactions and the ability that QuickBooks can have, then it'd be best for you to update your QuickBooks to the latest and greatest. Okay, so but for me, when I teach this over and over again, I don't explore beyond than what the book teaches you. So there's no purpose for me to have to update my QuickBooks. So yes, all right. So yes, how to check it out, and for that one is indeed the F2 button. Okay, F2 key. All right. Now we're talking about how to update your QuickBooks. How do you update your QuickBooks? There are 2 ways you can update your QuickBooks. There are two ways you can update your QuickBooks. Menu bar, where? Not file, not edit. How do you update your QuickBooks? I'll give you the first one. Okay. Every time you open up QuickBooks, the first thing that you're going to get is, would you like to update your QuickBooks? So that's the first one. And usually, because I've never started the application on here, that's probably why most of you guys don't know this one. So every time you start up QuickBooks, okay? And there's actually one that I actually taught you. Said it, Sadan?
The help menu?
Help on the menu bar. Yes. You go to help menu bar and you'd be able to see what services that QuickBooks can provide you, such as new features. You can actually update to the latest software. You can even upgrade if you want to whether it's QuickBooks Pro 2021 or if you want to upgrade to Premiere. Okay? So yes, help on the menu bar is the way to upgrade or update. So you can upgrade. You can also pay for QuickBooks services. So we'll talk about that when we go into chapter 12. There are some services that you may have to pay subscriptions to for, other means to use QuickBooks for. But yes, this whole list here, I did teach this in chapter 1 to use the help menu bar to be able to either update, upgrade, or maximize your QuickBook accessibilities. Okay? So good. Help on menu bar. Good. All right. Next question is, how do you use QuickBooks in single user and multi-user mode? Let's first talk about the difference between single user and multi-user.
Single one.
Yes.
Simple menu.
Yes. It's pretty straightforward, right? Yes. So single user is only having one person using or having access to one person accessing QuickBooks at one time. Multi-users allow you to work, have many users have access to company file at the same time. Okay, remember, and then they use networks in order to have everyone communicate on the same and use the same company file. Okay, now how do you switch from single to multi-user?
You use the menu bar file.
File menu bar, good. File menu bar, switch to, File menu bar, switch to multi-user. So right now I'm in single user, and now I need, if I go to file and switch to multi-user, then not only me, but whoever's on my same network. So if my fiance has QuickBooks on his computer, he can have access to this exact same file. Okay. So again, that's going to be on an extreme level of IT. So yes. So in this case, file, switch, multi-user mode. Good. All right. Next question is what editions of QuickBooks are available and how to find out which one they are using. Okay, so again, F2 tells you which one you're using. Okay, so F2 key tells you what you are using. But what are the other editions of QuickBooks that you can have? What are the product lines?
Enterprise.
Enterprise is one of them. Yes.
Pro.
Premier,
Premier. Good.
Yeah. Accountant.
Accountant. Yes.
Pro.
Pro. There's one more. And for you guys, make sure you guys know that I believe in 2018 it's called Enterprise Solutions. They changed it in 2019. All right. What's the last one?
Is it self-employed?
No, that one's for the new for the new 2020 version.
Okay.
Online version?
Online, yes. Online is becoming a popular form of way to do QuickBooks, right? Because it allows you to be able to work on the go. You have a lot of more accessibility. You can obviously when you have your phone with you, you can record transactions wherever you are. So if you're at the store and you want to scan something, you can go ahead and scan a transaction in there. That's how convenient and advanced QuickBooks is. Now, of course, with the online package, we talked about this too. It depends how much space you need because you are using their QuickBooks version of an iCloud. Okay, so there are subscriptions and it's a monthly payment versus a desktop is a one-time payment. Okay. So the next one is how